This is the book of Job, chapter 14, 20 verse 5, and it reads, I'm going to start at verse 4, and it reads, Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? Not one. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds, and he cannot pass. I'm going to start off by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to God, Elohim, by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachad, the best of honors to the elders, to the apostles, and like this truth from peace and salutation to the Akim. Across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua. I thought they're listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth to you. I say Shalom. So, brother, y'all, what's up? Coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh. By Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh meaning he is, he exists, or he to be. By Hashem, by his end. How's the Hashem his name? Yahushai meaning he saves, or he delivers. True names of the Most High God and Son of his people, ignorantly called God and Jesus Christ, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem Yahshua. This lesson is inspired by a video I saw. I don't name brothers channels, you know what I mean? For if you know why I don't name brother channels, but brothers through the spirit know. I may mention the title or something like that just to give credit, you know. But I can't even remember the title of the lesson, but I know the lesson is regards to. I think it was worded where they said the government shutdown has ended, and then a question mark. So when you go look it up, they saying that pretty much they come into agreement. Now, like the brother was going in on it. You got the guy from AMTV. What's his name? Christopher Green, which you know he saw, and you got what's that word? Control opposition. You got people that got platforms that pretty much they control the truth. You know what I mean? You'll have somebody that's actually pushing an agenda, but it'll seem like they're in opposition to what's going on. At the end of the day, it was a few things that was mentioned. Basically the way he said it, he was like, government shutdown has ended. 20 trillion has been injected into the economy, based on, I guess, because of the fact, the government, with its shutdown, the thing is it's not that the government doesn't have money. It's they haven't passed any, like they haven't basically like made a bill, put it like that, to actually get more funding. So, with the tariffs that they collected and, the different things that's going on, that's why this, I'm speaking as a man, but that's why, like, again, they let the government basically shut down and then fund another deal. And because pretty much what people don't understand is they were basically at odds with a decision. Trump, the Republicans basically wanted them to do certain things to the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, and the Democrats didn't want to. Like, basically, I guess Trump wanted to make cuts, and the Democrats like, well, if you cut these people off of it, it's going to affect Babylon. So you got to question if they actually are in agreements to come to a deal to end the shutdown. What does that mean? Who is that going to affect? Because what a lot of people aren't witnessing or paying attention to, they stopped the food stamps because of the big beautiful bill. Like, I witnessed it because I received SNAP. You know what I mean? So I noticed that it was shut down, but they said pretty much in the month of December the different SNAP changes is going to go into effect. Not only with SNAP, because you got people that, like, again, it changed the amount that I qualify for. Not only with SNAP, but you're going to have people that's going to lose SNAP. You're going to have people that's going to lose Section 8. You got people that's going to lose, the Medicaid or Medicare or Obamacare. So, again, I think it was orchestrated, but the scriptures also say, it's funny because it's not completely open yet, but you already got people in an optimistic mindset of, it's good, and then Trump floats the idea of, oh yeah, that's a spirit. Because I'm gonna look at that article that might be talking about this very subject, but you got people talking about, Trump floating the idea of $2,000 stimulus or tariff checks. What they were saying about checks back when Elon Musk was, the Doge. So, and like the brother, he did the lesson. He said you got a lot of people that get lulled to sleep by him. Because at the end of the day, he a magician. A magus. So although this man is allowed to lull, the scriptures say no enchantment work upon Jacob. So a lot of the true believers, a lot of brothers, they see him for what he is. I remember when he was running for office, and he basically said, he read the poem about the snake. This happens to be the year of the snake. I was listening to the particular elder brother, and he was going into how I think he read it in the GNT. What's that? Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 12. Never trust thine enemy. And, a snake charmer. Nobody pity a snake charmer bitten by a serpent. So majority of these people, from 2/3 of our nation to these MAGA Edomites, these low-level Edomites that's trusting in this dude, he done already bit you like multiple times, and they like that sting, they like that bite, they like the squeeze that this serpent putting on them. They are trusting this devil more than they trust, especially our people, which it was eloquently stated, like again, the beloved elder apostle broke down Revelations, I believe it's 12, where it talks about the woman being fed by the serpent for times and half a time. So, pretty much, the Lord allowed this devil to take care of us, and now we in a time where we gonna have to rely on Yahweh Shem Shah and not this devil. Because at the end of the day, this devil, in order to be taken care of, you're gonna have to show your allegiance. And that's why you got all these individuals paying homage to, the Amalekites, to the powers that be, from your boy Floyd to the dude Blueface, you know what I mean? Like, and I mean, those are the only ones that I witnessed with my eyes. So whatever the Lord gonna do, what I mean? And I kind of figured that it was about to shut down because one particular elder brother did. I mean, not shut down. It's about to open back up because one particular elder brother, just through the spirit, he was like, maybe he read something, or maybe just the spirit jumped on him, but he was like, he prayed that it stay shut down. I pray it stay shut down, you know what I mean? But the thing is this, while people are hoping in vanity, or they hope is in vain, the deal that they're passing, from what I hear, is only set up to fund the government to January. We in November. Just like you got individuals talking about some, how did they say it? You got individuals talking about the government opening back up, but these changes that they made have already been, again, these things are already in motion. Like the school district I go to, well, my children are in, like they talking about already next year, a lot of the schools in the school system is going to be shut down, and they're going to combine the schools because they don't have the funding like that. These people, you got, what we on day 10? You got certain articles I'm seeing where they talking about people receive their benefits and they so overwhelmed. I mean, they were overwhelmed, but now they so relieved. But you got people that still ain't get their shit. So best believe even when it's back, if they open it back up, but I mean, which it looked like more likely they will, but you got to question, like they had it shut down and locked for a reason, and now you come to the conclusion of something that you could have pretty much probably came to agreement or figured it out a while back. Again, the last shutdown is $1 billion being lost out of the economy each day this goes on. This is the longest government shutdown in history. So when you take time to think about it, I think the last one was 35 days. This one, if we on the 10th of November and the government shut down on the 1st of October, you looking at what was like 40-something days. These things have taken a toll. Think about these retailers, these grocers. Like I've been to, the Lord, I've been to the stores recently. You know what I mean? You don't see the amount of traffic that it normally has, especially at the beginning of the month. It's so much affecting the economy. The people that worked at the store was talking about it. Like the cashier, she up there like, yeah. She was like, people, cause she buy food stamps. You know what I mean? People that got jobs, a lot of people don't qualify for it. You know, I asked my friend, I was like, if you could qualify for some of these programs, would you get it? And she said no. And I'm like, you know, maybe questioning because, you know, a lot of people like, at one point in time, I didn't qualify for it. Only reason why I qualify for it now is because I'm a single parent. You know, if I was with my demon, we probably wouldn't get it because it'd be a combined income type thing. You know, the only reason, like, the only thing I get is food. And like I said, at the end of the day, the only reason why I get it is because I'm a single parent. But the point, I mean, that ain't none of y'all business, but I'm just making it known. Like I was listening to the elder, he was talking about you got individuals that just don't make enough. Yeah, because the price of living is going up. And it's going to get to the point, like I said again, they're going to come with the austerity measures which they have, which is this big, beautiful bill that's going to actually, you're going to need more, it's going to be more people in need of help, but it ain't going to be no help. You know, matter of fact, the scriptures talk about in the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 28. It talks about, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High, to them that, so like it, to them who are called according to his purpose. So all things, regardless of how it appears, it works to the good. So them shutting it down work towards prophecy, and those opening, if they choose to open it back, because it's not them, it's the Lord. You know, again, you just, people just looking at it, oh yeah, good, great. They trusted in, oh yeah, they opened it back up. But how is this going to affect you in the long run? Basically, they didn't want to come to agreement because, for whatever reason, I think it was orchestrated myself. You know, you had certain politicians that were saying it was certain Democrats and certain Republicans that wanted it shut down. Now all of a sudden y'all came to agreement, but again, it was all about the health care. So if you came to agreement, who's going to lose? And I've been seeing them speaking on Trump has been making this statement as of lately. He's saying that instead of, you know, like the states pretty much waiting for the federal government to give out, you know, the Affordable Care Act, he said that the states should give that money directly to the people that receive it. I haven't delved into it completely, but I mean, like, you got to wonder, question, why is he pushing for that? And just think about that, you know, again, if that's going to affect how the Affordable Care Act works. Because I know, again, a part of the deal, I'm going to open back up, is to fund the Affordable Care Act for another whole year. But again, from what I just heard, it say the budget that they basically, if they agree upon, is only going to fund the government for 2 months to January. So that show you that this place has an end. You know, the scriptures talk about the Lord pretty much controls the you know, the king. How does it go? The Most High God. So I know it's in Daniel, but it talks about the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man and give it to whomever he will. So it's the Lord that sets up the rulers and determines the time that they actually rule. And we all know, based on the beloved elder apostle, how he broke down that most kingdoms only last 250 years. And America's going on its 250th year in 2026. Listen, think about this just from like a common sense standpoint. People are so relieved and ecstatic based on the fact that they may open this back up, but they've only funded it for 2 months. So they kick the can as far as they can kick it. The way this system is set up, it's a fiat currency system. No fiat currency system lasts. That's why they're trying to create a new system, because you got to understand, the fiat currency system creates debt. And they got to figure out a way to basically offload that debt. And that's the whole point of, from what I researched and found out about the stable coin. You know, for every American dollar is supposed to be a stable coin to match that. You know, and actually, it's a way for them to try to like offload the debt. So again, while these people sit up here like, yay, it's opening back up. Actually, you know, scriptures say, when they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them. So believe, you know, it's funny too, because again, as much as this man has showed you his care, you know, it's something Kevin Gates has said. He said, hate no man, but he said once, but pay attention to when a person show you who they are. He said, hate no man unjustly, but he said once enemy can never be a friend. You know what I mean? Think about what this man has said about, you know, I forgot that name of that movie, but it went into about the Central Park Five. And them dudes, literally, like, the one guy, like, I never watched the movie. I saw like shorts of it. that dude, like basically they said they raped a female. Come to find out they didn't even do it. But those were young Jake men, and literally like they got railroaded. You know how often that happens in Babylon the Great. And I'm sure it was the will of the Lord for that to happen. But I'm sure he suffered, man. Come to find out, I think they said the dude that actually did it ended up confessing to it, and they had to release them. But that dude, when you label like a rapist, you catch hell in prison. That's the weird thing about prison. Like people, that's how you know prison is a very spiritual place. Because you got individuals with, like these some of the most despicable, wicked people on the planet that's in prisons, but it's a code there too. I remember when I was incarcerated, a dude that did something to somebody's mama in there, and I was in like a minimum. So a minimum, you got more ability to move around, and a maximum, you lock down majority of the day. You might get like 1 hour rec and time to wash your ass and shit like that. But in a minimum, you might have a job there. You might, it's like an open door. It's like a boot camp, which to show you how retarded everything is. Actually, the minimum is more dangerous. Like the maximums is for the more hardened, dangerous criminals, but they're isolated. Like maximum, sometimes you might even have a cellie, but in a minimum, you in an open dorm where it's actually way more dangerous. Jay can tell you about anybody that's actually, and I'm not speaking on this to brag. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, everything is the will of the Lord. Because, like I said, I read the title of it. I didn't watch the video, but suffering builds character. You know what I mean? Yeah. The Lord molds you. The things that you experienced in your life is to make you who you are, or better yet, for you to be molded into what the Lord needs you to be. If you're a man of the Lord, it's like if you're a man of the Lord. My point being, yeah. So it's so upside down because again, Jay can tell you stories that actually had experienced it. Motherfuckers get hit in the face with socks with locks in them, and drop locker boxes on motherfuckers' heads, and like I said, what motherfucker die. And that dude, like I said, that did that to the dude. It's like 2 of the niggas in this little, because each, like I think it was 10 houses at the place I went, so it might be like 200 people in each one of these houses. I'm talking about, so just imagine, I want to say at least half the fucking dorm. He was fighting with one dude, and then he was getting out on the one dude. And the crazy part is the one dude could actually box. But it was the Lord humbling the dude that could box, because this dude ended up getting out on the dude that could box. But it's a dorm full of motherfuckers. So, they passed the word down. They beat that dude's ass to the point, like, wherever he would go, niggas hitting him. Wow, hitting him with shit, punching him in. They had to life flight that dude out of there. You don't even know if he died. So the world is deadly serious, you know what I mean? And the only hope you should have hope in, especially at times like now, is in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Even with this, the scriptures talk about his thoughts are not our thoughts. What's that? Isaiah chapter 55. So yeah, nothing can be done against the truth before the truth. So like I said again, if they happen to open it up, which they haven't even done it yet, but again, the dude running with it already, the dude Christopher Green, oh yeah, the government shutdown is ended. I would have looked it up. They said they coming to, like maybe it's coming to look like they gonna end it. It is not ended yet. It's the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So, again, the scriptures talk about that's why you always supposed to be waiting and watching, because you don't want to be caught off guard. Like the flood. Noah was watching, so he wasn't caught off guard. Most of these people, I got a sister that's trying to get married right now. The scriptures say, "Won't you them?" You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be eating and drinking and giving it to marriage. I try to tell my sister the truth. She talk about some. Trust me, like. I got 2 sisters. One is full, kind of make me think about Yahweh Shah. Not saying that what I'm saying is it remind me of the account, like Yahweh Shah had 4 brothers, right? 2 was in the truth, 2 wasn't. So that's the balance of it. I got a sister that I can talk to about scripture, and I got a sister that don't even really want to deal with me. You know what I mean? And no matter that, like, I'm looked at like the black sheep of the family because of, I don't deal with my family. But the crazy part is, You know, I tried to send her and put her onto some stuff. I'm gonna show you something. I remember one time I was trying to show her about the Georgia Guidestones. That's why I show you how cold the Lord is. I sent it to her. She was fucking with a nigga at the time. You know, the Georgia Guidestones had like the message, but it was in like, I forget how many different languages. She had him pull it up. He give it to her in another language. So she like, I couldn't read it. I'm like, what you mean you can't read it? It's in English. She was like, no, it's in this language. So that's when I found out it was in more than one language. But I was like, well, why the fuck would this nigga actually purposely not give her the information? And then want to hear something crazy? You know, when my first daughter was born, you know, she was fucking with him then. That dude died shortly right after that. This nigga was from New York. He knew about Jay-Z. He knew about a lot of the, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know who this nigga was? I myself personally believe that he was like a low-level Freemason or maybe a higher-level Freemason. You know what I mean? I don't know. But you'd be surprised, you know, who is who. That's why you got to be circumspect. You got to, you know, the spirit got to really be dealing with you. But once I seen that, I said, oh, yeah, them demons want to keep her where they keeping her at. You know what I mean? Now she married or supposed to be about to get married to another nigga while the world ended. The scriptures talk about they're going to be marrying and giving into marriage while the very world ended. That's how you know, when the persecution comes, you're going to have those, the believers being persecuted while, the 2/3 and the these people that these Babylonians, they're going to be in their 15-minute cities. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to this female. She was up there like, yeah, I'm at school now. So I'm like, just shaking my head. Cause be like, I mean, for you to even have any kind of trust in this place, nigga, they said the most secure job, the biggest contractor in the world is the U.S. government, right? They said that's supposed to be the most secure job working for the government. The Lord just really just fucked with everybody's mind just for the fact that the government wasn't paying you. So how could you got to be kind of slow or something to trust in this place or trust in the government or trust in DJ Trump. That's how you know the MAGA people really is under the heavy delusion too. Scriptures talk about strong delusion. Like this, they up there, they still talk about, yeah, everything he's doing is good. He don't even give a fuck about y'all. He used y'all to get in there. You know what I mean? Like, can't make it up. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1, but of the times and the seasons, brother, ye have no need that I write unto you for yourselves, though perfectly that the day of the Lord Yahweh shall be shot, so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, again, the Lord has allowed them to be led to the slaughter. You know what I mean? Like, again, if the Lord wanted to warn you, he's able to. I had to think about something again, like part of my testimony. I had this mindset of, because again, a brother titled a video said, "Who determines your time or that you're allotted?" The Lord, the Heavenly Father. Now, don't get me wrong. Your thoughts are not the Lord's thoughts. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, of course, who wouldn't want to be delivered? But at the same time, don't just be convinced that, put it like this. I'm going to say it like this. At the end of the day, your thoughts is not the Lord's thoughts. So just because you feel or you think, like that's what makes it a gift and a blessing. And, it's because it's the Lord's choice. So just because you think like, like what movie is that? Like Game of Thrones with Hodor. Hodor was set up through the Spirit to pretty much be there to save Bran. That's why he kept on saying Hodor, but it was hold the door. So he was just set up to hold that door and die right there through the Spirit. So it's the Lord's will. Again, our thoughts are not our thoughts. Because at the end of the day, I said the wrong scripture. What was that? Proverbs. I think it's what is 16 and what is 21. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. No. And the Lord turneth it whatever way he wanted to, roughly paraphrase. The Lord is the one in control. Verse 4, but ye, brother, are not in darkness that that they should overtake you as a thief. So you got a lot of people being lulled back to sleep because they're like, oh yeah, it's finally over with, and these benefits coming back. Where again, America never coming back the way it used to be. The whole point of the big beautiful bill is change. Don't you get it? The fuck. So again, let these people be delusional, and for those that truly believe, we are not in darkness. We can see it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it might not be this year, but a lot of brothers was, again, that's why, brothers say things through the spirit. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the elder had already said probably because it's got to be certain things got to be fulfilled before the end comes. This is just another part or piece to it. Like hell, I wanted it not to open back up because now you see these people really starting to use their thinking fucking caps. Now these people starting to look at this place side-eyed. You know what I mean? Now these people ain't really giving their full trust to this place. Because you've seen people, I know we all have. You have some people that just really just completely lost in the matrix. While you got some people realize this place for what it is. You got people question, why I gotta pay for this? You gotta pay for car insurance. You know what I mean? Like they told me something recently that I'm like, why don't you just let me park the car? They like, oh yeah, what if somebody hit you? It's a liability issue. I say, but I got insurance. So if somebody hit me, what you talking about? The whole point, I gotta have insurance. So if I hit somebody, that you don't care if my car get fixed. No, you just again, like they choose who they gonna make breaks with, and that's why I did what I did. You know what I mean? It was funny too because, like I said, you trying to basically violate my rights. You know what I mean? Like pretty much, you gotta have probable cause to go through the truck. Yeah, if you find something there, but you ain't find nothing. Just because I'm a little nigga boy in your eyes, that's why you did that shit. And I kept on saying, I said, you can't, because it was funny too, because they tried to get in the truck and they couldn't. I had to get it open at full. They like, what's in the truck? Now they extra curious. I'm like, oh, so you just gonna violate my rights? Well, bitch, there's a bomb in there. You know what I mean? So he looked at me stupid, but I'm fucking with him. You know what I mean? So finally, when they opened it, he get to going through my shit, the sides in there, my garments, you know what I mean? Then he went through the book bag. He just knows it's got to be something illegal in there. It ain't but nothing but Bibles and books. So it's the truth bomb. You a fucking devil. And your kingdom, you losing it. Call a lawyer, and it might not be this year, but definitely it's coming soon. The end of America is not bouncing back, and America is not. Again, the one brother does the lessons of is circling the drain. You know what I mean? Look at the mirth of this place. Like again, people think about this. They was talking about that whole boycott thing. Even if the government opened back up, you got individuals in the mindset of we go to boycott. So I think they said they gonna do it from the 25th. Ain't that Thanksgiving to like beginning December type shit? So if the economy already took a hit these first 10 days, and like I said, you could clearly see it. Like I tried to sign up for, Salvation Army or food bank or something like that. They ain't like, we gonna call you back. They ain't even called back. And through the spirit of power, I'm not desperate, but again, I could, you try to plan ahead, you know what I mean? They ain't even called back. I said, damn, hold up. So this shit is way more. So, like I said, through the spirit, I was with my friend and she was taking me somewhere, and just so happened she wanted to go get some air in her tire, and I told her to take a specific way. The way we go though, I forgot this church was right there, but it shows you the reality of the situation. I'm talking about the truck, the cars was lined all the way around. If you're familiar with the area, I ain't gonna say it, but long story short, the cars wrapped all the way around. I filmed it, like say again, like that shit was crazy to me. Like I'm like, because the area that it was at is a busy ass intersection. That only was the lot, which the church it got a gigantic lot. Not only was the lot completely full of cars, but the shit wrapped all the way around the corner of like the two streets. I say, what the fuck? That in itself shows you, and again, what's going to be the cold part while these people being lulled back to sleep is the big, beautiful bill. It basically cut people from getting the aid. Again, it was stipulations. If you have a child, you'll qualify for help for that child up until the child being 18. Now, no longer the big, beautiful bill, after a certain age, you don't qualify for them. So you still, I think it's after 14 years old. So you still gonna have the responsibility of taking care of the child. And we know food the price of food is up. At a time where food is up, they cut back. I mean, I'm grateful for it. Like, they was like, you could appeal it. But I'm like, ain't no point in, because I'm not going to beg the devil. Like, fuck the devil. I had a job where dude sit up there, I was the weakest link. And I'm like, how the fuck I'm the weakest link where, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? How did you label me out of everybody? And then my friend was like, well, you should be calling him, you know, to tell him. I'm like, I'm not calling that dude to kiss his ass, because the thing is this. You can't, you know, like, for instance, a snitch or the police ass nigga. Like, people, the police or Esau use a snitch, but they don't respect you. You know? They'll use you. But like the elder brother said, but nobody likes a traitor. You know what I mean? You know, the Lord uses, you know, what's the word? You know, how I want to word it. I ain't gonna say spies, but I can say it like this: like, the Lord is so cold, He'll have men that wake up that's behind enemy lies. That's you know, a part of the system, but against this, because He's gonna kill the system within. This place is gonna implode upon itself. That's why it's gonna be a civil war. You know, even Richie from Boston said that. You know, Richie from Boston was in the military, so you know what I mean. Like, he think there's gonna be some you know, what's that called off of Terminator? John Connor, the what is it called? Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not a rebellion, but it was called a they like freedom fighters. I can't think of the name of it. But pretty much, like, Richie was going into that. Like, he like, shit, you know, the left hand really never showed the right hand, you know what I mean? Like, in a day and age where you got all this technology and you got these people self-snitching on themselves. And, you know, again, that's the point of like having these platforms and whatnot, because people want to be sought or want attention, you know what I mean? So you have people, like I said, like you see it now, people going on there, I'm going to take this and I'm going to do that. You know, I was going to do a video because that dude, JD Delays, I did a video on him because the Edomite, he say he not racist in his body, he not racist, but he has actually admitted that, you know, being that the way prison politics is, he like, pretty much you stick with your race. Because if something happened, you know, it could cause a race war. But in his mind, I did the video based on the fact to show you actually proving that you racist. You know what I mean? And racism isn't a wicked thing. Racism just means you for your race. You know, we on the bottom of the totem pole in Babylon the Great. And if you want to be actually honest, a person that called themselves like pretty much believe it, we all equal, will admit that. Although they won't. They'll say, oh yeah, a lot of people lazy. Well, you got Edomites that's lazy. You got trailer park trash Edomites. What the fuck you talking about? It was a female, he did a video that he was talking about how, because it's a black woman, she said pretty much how we should go hunt them out and eat them. She was bugged out, got all kind of spirits on her. He got offended. He was like, so we still under the delusion that we could say racist shit about white people, but white people can't say nothing back. What are you talking about? That's the beauty of America. We all supposed to have freedom of fucking speech. So again, it's just show you everybody's emotions. I don't give a fuck. I mean, you know what I mean? As long as you don't call me no nigga in my face, I mean, because I know you thinking it. I just literally just went through something racist. You know, my brother is like 7 years older than me. I remember one time he said some of the dumbest shit, and that's when I knew my brother was stupid. My brother's very street savvy, and he's not stupid. But, you know, at the same time, a person's thought patterns or how people think or what they perceive, you know, that kind of usually forms their opinion of life and whatnot. Not really, you know, just because of what they personally experienced. Life, like he told me, he said he's seen his people do more wickedness. He never really had no so-called white people do nothing wicked to it. And I, myself, although I'm younger, have actually experienced racism. So just showed you, I was like, this nigga delusional. But, you know, no, the beauty of America is we can all white power. That's why you got these white nationalists that go do they little go out in public and do their little parades and shit like that. Because America's supposed to be a land of freedoms, but when you really see it for what it is, it's really fake. Certain people can speak their freedom, and if you understand the law, you know, that hunky really, he's like, oh, yeah, you need to check up on your law. But I said, well, then I brought up the fact of the glove compartment. I said, if my glove compartment locked, you can't just jimmy rig and break it. Like this, like if I didn't show him how to open the truck, he'd have looked stupid. It was raining, so therefore, it was like the Lord was showing me that I'm right. Because they'll overstep your rights. You know what I mean? Like somebody told me years ago, they said the most wicked motherfuckers is people that work for the law because they know how to manipulate so they can bend and break the law when they want to. They show you that in the Matrix. But the one thing that Jake Chick did say, she brought up the fact about the delectable nigga. Now, she was a little bit bugged out and went too far because I ain't never eaten nobody. That's what the Lord created, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't that deep. But, you know what I mean? She was right about, at one point in time, these hunkies was eating Jake. These are the things they try to cover up. Like, you motherfuckers is like wildebeest cave people. You ever seen Game of Thrones when you had the wildlings? Because the wildlings wasn't just one tribe of people. It was a group of tribes that all moved a certain kind of way. I think the Thanes was the ones, they marked their faces, they cut their faces. That was their marking. So like all of them had probably like it was a rite of passage or whatever. So you know, like Mr. T was talking about how he did that based on the fact that it's a tribe in Africa that he's basically saying his roots go back to. They wear gold and they don't wear that mohawk like the Native Americans, although the Native Americans got a tribe to do that. He said this go back to a tribe in Africa. So that mohawk was like a part of their tribe, the custom of their tribe. But long story short, on the Game of Thrones, the Thanes, I think the Thanes, or they called the Thanes, one of them was with Jon Snow when he fought the White Walker. Because he basically sacrificed himself so Jon Snow could get the obsidian or the dragon glass. But they used to eat people. Like they show you that on there. Like their culture was, they ate people. And none of the other wildlings really fuck with them. Like they fuck with them because the king behind the wall, he literally united all these different tribes. Because you had different tribes and they all fight against one another. But pretty much he was able to unite them in order to, which is cold when you think about it, because Jon Snow was supposed to be the king of the Seven Kingdoms. He was the original or the real king, the real heir. But the Lord had to set up where he wasn't going to be the king of the Seven Kingdoms. He ended up being the king of the wildlands. He was the king behind the wall. So he was born a king, but he never, you know, again, that's a cold little like series for him. A lot of brothers wasn't into the Dance of Dragons, but you know, I don't like the fact that they put Jake in there. They kind of fucked it up, but at the same time, when you read the book is better, you know. Because like I said, when you look at it, Salakia, I'm just rambling. Salakia. Forgive me, like the others say. But my point being, she did say that. She was bugged out, but the Edomite got all offended. Like, oh, yeah, that's just crazy. No, but she is right, though. At one point in time, he probably didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? You know, what's about to come to pass, a lot of people and their opinions ain't gonna fucking matter. You know, the Lord is with certain things. The Lord is about one nation of people being over one nation of people. What do you think the kingdom of heaven is? You know, and right now these devils is in their rulership, but they see it slipping, and that's why they gonna come down with great wrath. Verse 5, ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of the darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober. Put on the breastplate, so like put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for him the hope of salvation. For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to attain salvation by our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So, and that's why you got the eyes to see. Scriptures talk about blessed are your eyes that see and your ears that hear. You know what I mean? Most of these people can't hear the song. And that's why they go get caught up in the distractions. They go trust and believe in this place. I mean, you ever seen a woman that the nigga put that spell on her? I'll put a spell on you and baptize her with the rod. You know, like I was watching this video where a chick was sitting up there talking to her current dude, but talking about how she not gonna block her ex dude, and her boyfriend, like the dude, like, well, what you mean you not gonna block? He like, well, I'm not gonna be if I'm telling you to block him. Why are you even concerned about him knowing your whereabouts and all that shit? But in this bitch mind, she talking about, so, oh no, I don't care, I don't want him, but you worried about what he think? Yeah, people bugged out. You know what I'm saying? Like. That's how these people is with as bugged out as it is. That's how these people trusted in this place. You know what I mean? Like your mindset you're supposed to be in is detached. Your mindset of this place is this. You know, again, and you know what that is. Ultimately, if they do open it back up, that's the Lord lulling people back to sleep so they can be destroyed. This supposed to open you, and you can already see that's what it's gonna be. They did that the last shutdown. Remember? You had people crying in despair. Oh my God, this, that. You had people really suffering. And now, think about this. You people are in debt because of this shit. Now, yeah, they gonna get the back pay if they get paid, but you got a lot of military people not getting paid. You got people suffering. What if everybody living paycheck to paycheck? You got to understand these bill collectors are relentless. I was talking to the like okay, when these programs dry up, or the government isn't helping as far as they used to. These municipalities, these courts, they still gonna want money. With these utility bills, I was looking at my utility bill. They talk about the price or the cost of electricity and stuff is about to go up. They not trying to hear that. Oh, you ain't got the money. They still shut your shit off in the. You know what I mean? Like this is how cold and heartless this place is. It's the book of Zephaniah chapter 1. At verse 12, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leaves, those that are complacent, compliant, those that hoping, begging, praying, you know what I mean, pleading for this place to open back up. Well, the spirit just put be in, and most of the brothers, that believe the 100% truth, according to the elders and apostles, beloved elders and apostles. You're supposed to be in a mindset of like detaching and saying fuck this place. Again, I pop up in my mind because I think about the one particular elder, you know what I mean? Because he said something that it cut me because I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Because you hoping, but the truth of the matter is like you can't put your trust in nothing carnal, physical. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a cushion, to have a little silver or gold, but none of those things is going to save you. Scriptures tell you that. Scriptures tell you in the book of Ezekiel chapter 7, they're going to cast that gold, they silver in the streets. Because that shit ain't going to save you. You got to think about it. If society not functioning, you can have, I see, what's that dude name? Moneybagg Yo. Hey, he had like, not ounces, he had kilos of gold. He was talking about how, show you how to invest your money. He had kilos of gold, so he wasn't just completely stupid. You know what a kilo of gold is? Right. He had at least about like 7 or 8 of them on the table, along with the paper money. But, you can have a kilo of gold, but the thing is, just imagine you going in the book of Eli, that town that Eli went into, Denzel Washington went into. They barter it for little shit, you know what I mean? Lighters and, radios and shit like that. But what was precious? Lip balm. If you know how to make some lip balm, they say it be the little things like that's gonna make a man resourceful and precious. The old ways. My demon was talking about how her granddad used to know how to make wine and garden. These was traits and shit that Jake grew up having. But to show you how cold the Lord was, because I remember her saying, I was like, you never learned how to do it? And she was like, no, he ain't get a chance to teach me. Or she was like, she didn't want to learn. Some shit she said. I said, well, I was like, that show you how stupid people is. Because just imagine now, like, you'll be able to actually, like you'll be of value. Like, the fact, when society shut down, you know what I mean? It's going to be those that are, like, what? If on that game, Days Gone, now, I was telling brothers about, That game made it raw because it was kind of like The Walking Dead, and then you had different caps that pretty much ran the caps different ways. You know what I mean? Like you had the one lady, she had a cap, and pretty much she would make them like anybody that got brought to the cap pretty much was slaves. Like she would have, she ran it like like a prison. Yeah. Then you had another cap where like because the dude, the main character, he was bartering and trading with all these different caps. You know what I mean? And one of the caps pretty much was like he had a bike, so the dude would be bartering with him, but then at the same, like if you ever seen Snowfall, like he had the one chick that he was selling the dope to, and then she backdoored him. She paid him, and then came back and had some niggas rob him and take the money back. So he had to man up and he had to go get his, he had to be a man. The Lord put him in a situation, say, you really want this? You know what I mean? And that helped build his character. Just like what the Lord doing with us when he takes us to do our different trials and tribulations. Do you really want this? Or is he going to give up a foe the very first sign of trouble? And we ain't even see the trouble yet. I mean, yeah, this little shit, but wait till you really, like I was speaking about the gold. Like, if, like, you got people that's got gold, but that don't mean you're going to be able to spend it. You might end up getting killed for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and if a society is not functioning correctly, again, the point of bartering is we trade for something of value. You got people that got families and may not be able to protect their family. That's why you're going to need your Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yeah, says, and punish the men that are settled on their leaves that say in their heart, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua will not do good, neither will he do evil. You got people that don't even trust in the Lord. People don't. If the devil opens this shit back up, it's because the Heavenly Father wants him to. But again, like I say, I can see this lulling people back to sleep, which this should have your eyes completely open. He did the same shit last time, but the last time, again, you had people crying, but then they opened everything back up. Even Unc 607 said that. Even Unc 607, as much as of a demon this nigga is, he knew that this shutdown was about about the healthcare thing, because that's what it was about. And at the end of the day, because whatever they came to agreement with, it's about to affect a lot of people. And it's probably going to be a lot of people about to lose Medicaid. That's why the main thing the Democrats is pushing, they want to keep this Obamacare. It's probably a way, a lot of these hospitals are making money off of this shit. Watch how many hospitals about to close. You got schools about to close, these hospitals about to close. You got to think about that. Obamacare is free healthcare, so that's money going into these hospital systems. When they cut that, a lot of these hospitals are going to close. The fuck is you talking about? When you realize how much corruption is in this place, like I was listening to one particular brother from Atlanta, he was saying, he was like, they try to make it seem like the individuals like what most people that, if you qualify for something, who not going to take that? Why would you make your life harder? So when she said it, I was just like, but women are fickle like that too. You know what I mean? Again, I didn't get into, I qualified for it. Then I'm like, I'm going to show you how demonic a bitch is. Like I said, when my demon had the children, and then she gave it to me, she talked about how she lost the food stamps or some shit like that. I'm paying for the food out of my pocket. Come to find out, this bitch was getting the food stamps, because one day it got to get to hurt to the point, I'm like, I got to go try to see if I can get some food stamps. I go call them, they like, somebody already collected benefits for this. I say, what? This bitch tell me they cut it. And not once they offered a dollar or anything. That's why I say, like, it's funny, but it's not funny because, again, motherfuckers think they gonna escape something. Like, the Lord allow you to do shit. That's the scary part about the Heavenly Father, because he'll allow you to do shit. You know how, like, the feds sit back and watch? So when they come and get you, what you gonna say? Like literally, like, you know what I mean? Like, the feds don't really let you, like, okay, work a deal with them. No, you go take this amount. Because they already got everything they need on you. It's very rare to beat the feds. They said Diddy beat him. But no, Diddy didn't really, he beat the RICO cases, but Diddy's in the feds. What you talking about? The fuck you mean? I ain't beat him. That's that mindset of, like the brother said, motherfuckers get probation and they be like, oh yeah, I beat him. Yeah, you think Young Thug beat him, huh? Like, first of all, he didn't really have a true RICO. That was the state. South of it, You got probation and banned from Atlanta. Like, what the fuck you talking about? How you beat him? The probation is actually, they want you to white it. Most people don't get off of papers because it's set up for you to fail. To show you how much of a joke this shit is, like back in the day, you couldn't smoke weed, you on probation. Now that they legalized it, how do that even work? I've seen Jake sit up there and they keep on coming up dirty for weed. And they be like, well, we gonna lock your ass up if I'm gonna smoke my weed. So how did that even work now? Because it's legalized. This place is a fucking joke. Verse 13, therefore their goods shall become a booty and their houses a desolation. People gonna try to hold on to the little bullshit that they got in Babylon the Great. When Babylon the Great is circling the drain. Why? Life shouldn't be this hard. And you see already the mindset of people, we all in it together, but we not. Because Babylon the Great, they'll say we all together, but really it's not. It's going to actually be those that's joined onto like the Matrix. You're going to have those which you can't really knock, like what they call them a civilian. With a person that's not in the streets or don't come from a certain world where, they literally, so if they see something, they call the police. You know what I mean? My thing is, like Charles the White. Charles the White, I can't stand that bitch ass nigga because, again, you could clearly tell he's a character. That's a nigga. I mean, I'm talking about like, he come with an entourage, 5 or 6 niggas. These hood niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you think Charles the White always got some kind of weapon on him? Pepper spray, stud gun. He carry pistols, knives, all that shit. So he on camera, he talking about, he in the courtroom and he telling and shit like that, but at the same time, you see the video of him falling asleep in the car, and then they like, you got any weapons? He like, yeah, I got a pistol. Which I find funny because Carson White, I don't think he can see out of that one eye. So how the fuck, I mean, don't get me wrong, motherfuckers can do what, all he take is one eye. You can see good enough, but to be a good shot with one eye, like, get the fuck out of here. This nigga got big guns. He had flamethrowers. That nigga crazy as fuck. That's a dangerous dude. But what really make him dangerous, not because of the carnal shit he possessed, what make him dangerous is because he's a sellout to his people. That nigga will command and uplift Esau to the mountains. Therefore, their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. Verse 14: the great day of the Lord Yahweh Shah is near. It is near, and hasteneth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahweh Shah, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That nigga snore like a grown ass man. This is a dog. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. And I again, speaking as a man, 2026, if 2025 was like this, I can't wait to hear what the Lord is going to put on the Apostle Spirit to name 2026. Because again, 2025 started off running. Started off feet on the ground, running. So I only can imagine what 2026 is going to be. Because remember what started? You had that Tesla fire, and then you had that dude that ran down all the people. I remember that started the year, and then it was just been an escalation of shit. So just imagine how this upcoming year gonna come in. It's cool. It's coming in at like almost ended with we had a government shutdown. You really think that the holiday, this fucked up households, man, to the point where people talk about they canceling Christmas, they canceling Thanksgiving. With these stores need these holidays in order to turn a profit. I was gonna do a video and they was talking about, I think Denny's got like 13,000 restaurants. They said they sold and closing all of them. Let me repeat. Denny's was declining for a minute, but they still been around. 13,000 of them. I think the new Denny's is now Cracker Barrel, which is funny because if you actually experience racism, like Denny's was a highly racist ass spot. I was about to say my niggas, but that's back when I was a nigga. dudes I grew up around, we would go out there. We'd go out there, and I'm talking about we all got money, but yet still, it'd be about 7, 8 of us, and they'd just look at us. They'd never send nobody over to the service or nothing. Now, Cracker Barrels and new ditties. Because that spirit of, I hate you, is never going to be off this devil. That's why I laughed at that dude. Like, maybe that just show you how, sometimes you just got to keep it real with yourself. Like, I keep it real. Like, I don't like them. Because I'm in the proper spirit and they in the proper spirit when they don't like me. Might have to interact with you here and there. You know, my nature is gonna bring that spirit, just like that spirit came out of that policeman. And then they thought I was supposed to kiss their ass, and I'm like, "What I'm kissing your ass for? You really ain't helping me. Like, you ain't giving me no break. You know, in your mind, you thinking you giving me a break, but you ain't giving me no fucking break. You worried about securing your little job." I'm gonna end it with this. This is Romans chapter 13. So no matter what it looked like, just remember, like, trust in Yahweh Shem Shah. I was listening to a particular elder. You know, this could play with some people that believe, the believers. But what do you truly believe? It's a song by Scarface, one of my favorite songs. He say, "Who do you believe in?" And it goes into the power of the Bible. Who do you believe in? What do you believe in? But yeah, I mean, the Lord is a man that he cannot lie. And again, if you really in the spirit, you can see, yeah, like I said, the Lord's thoughts is not our thoughts. So again, for whatever reason, if it do open back up, it's, again, they say Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. So if the Lord allows them to open this back up, just imagine the fall gonna be even more severe. That's how I'm looking at it. You got to keep in mind a question, okay, y'all was fighting it. Y'all both had two opposing ideas. The Republicans want to basically cut it, and the Democrats wanted you to keep it. So if y'all came to a compromise, what's at stake? What made you, what's about to happen? What's about to take place? Because it was something going on that both of these parties was like, well, none of them, neither one of them wanted to budge. So how did y'all compromise? And you still talk about peace and safety? Romans chapter 13 and verse 11, and that no other time that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than what we believe. Just because it appears so. And then again, to show you how, again, these people trusted everything but the Lord, it's not even really ended. They said basically they could see that they working it out, and it may very well end. Trump did a speech. He said, well, they're doing this, they're doing that, and you'll know something soon. This dude, Christopher Green, already talking about some, they ended the government shutdown. And that's how you know he's controlled opposition. Verse 12, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Verse 13, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. But put ye on the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So, so the scripture said, don't worry about, provisions. Don't worry about trying to get the bag, worried about silver. Like you got certain brothers that wasn't able to get any or accumulate any silver and gold. I realize now the reason why, because when I was getting it, I was in an opportunity to actually get some precious metals. But thinking you're gonna be amongst brothers and whatnot. Like I did certain things to help the brotherhood, but I realized now the Lord had me doing these things. The Lord put the spirit on. The Lord puts the spirit. You got certain jakes that never was considered about getting a silver coin at all. I know brothers that had the means that literally had to, because he wasn't making provision for the flesh. Like I'm realizing now, the reason why I had the coinage that I had is for me to save myself. You know what I mean? Being that I ain't got no brother I can call on or nothing like that. I felt stupid with the car because again, when I went to go call, I'm like, I can't even call nobody. But the cold part about it is the Lord still made a way for me to be able to, like, you know, when I had to go get the car, literally, we see this. It was a big ass lot too, and I'm like, damn. And my friend was with me. She was like, damn, that's a good business. And I'm like, yeah, but it's really not because you got to think about it. Like, I'm sure they get money for the police when they tow it, but at the same time, they make their money on the back end when you come get it out. If all these cars in here, that show you motherfuckers can't afford to get their shit out. So is they really making money? I went to go give them the money to get the car out. They didn't even have change. You talking about you gotta have cash, but you ain't even got the cash to change this motherfucking money up. I was like, this shit retarded. Then they talk about, well, you got change. No, that's your job to get the fucking change. What you talking about? You telling me you got all these restrictions. Oh, you only gotta have cash and this and that and that and this, but yet still you don't even got the cash. You know, like I said, like when I went to the bank, motherfuckers only had six $100 bills. I say, oh yeah, now I don't. What? And it's a Friday. You know, you got to understand, banks supposed to have money on deck because people cashing their paychecks. But when you really understand what's really going on, they like the banks is borrowing money. They don't got the fucking money because people ain't working. Banks use the people's money to, you know, invest and do this, do that. But if people ain't put no money in their bank accounts, what you talking about? So again, these people could hope in Yahweh Shem Shah as a hopeful member of the elect. I'm gonna continue to hope in Yahweh Shem. Well, I might have said that wrong. I said these people could continue. I meant to say these people continue to hope in the government, but as a hopeful elect member, I'm gonna continue to hope and keep my faith in Yahweh Shem Shah. And we know what is written. This place is truly circling the drain. And like I said again, that all is a test of your faith. Is you gonna believe? You know, you have bad men walk out the truth just because the prophecies wasn't happening fast enough, or they want to go back in the world. What is in the world? You know, I'm asking. You know what I mean? Like, because we all living in the same world, and if the Lord gave you the eyesight to see this place is over with, why would you think it's something to, you know, like it's amazing, but it's not amazing. You know what I mean? Like I've heard the elders and brothers speak on men that fell out the truth to go to try to make a rap career or music career. Like they literally changing the face of entertainment before your eyes. Those, I heard an elder speaking on that. It was like, you know, these actors and, you know, rappers and singers, they not eating well right now. Like everybody's struggling. But get what? Now the new celebrity is who? A streamer. And they all go back to that lady that, what's her name? Sophia, that wrote, you know, the Terminator and the Matrix and all that. Like literally she said pretty much everything was gonna be streaming. So it make a lot of sense why, you know, the streamers is the ones that's actually being fed right now. And when you go into that streaming shit, oh my God, that shit is like a waste of time though. But you know what it is too? A lot of them dudes do a lot of different shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they might get on there and get the rap. You can tell it's a bunch of niggas, you know. Like the dude I Show Speed. You had a female that was homeless. A dude called up there, his mother was homeless. And this dude started laughing at that shit. But these niggas that grew up in the projects and these little, like these little ghetto boys. But for you to laugh at somebody like I mean, ultimately that's the Lord, you know. Like, I mean, like, the spirit just hit me with that too. But this nigga a demon, you know what I mean? Like, that's dude a demon. Well, but the point I was making is, like, he literally is talented, you know. He talented, like the one dude said, like, what's his name? Logan Paul, because him and his brother got a podcast. And that dude Logan Paul said he believed he could just pretty much do anything he wanted. So if he wanted to go like play a sport, he probably could play a sport, you know. He is actually, like he ran against people that's actually like world-class athletes. And he keeping up, if not beating them and shit like that. So yeah, he like the dude said, he gifted. Like, so or they little streams, they be doing all kind of shit, you know what I mean? They be up there rapping, they be up there playing pranks. You know, you see what Drewski and Kevin Hart be doing. You know, when they get on the one, they do numbers. And that's what Kevin Hart was attracted to him about. He like, man, do you realize like he'll hold the attention of people for like 8 million people for like 5 or 6 hours? Like that's like Super Bowl numbers type shit. And the thing is, that's how you know the shit is witchcraft for real. Salakia for all the rambling, again. This wasn't, again, that was all through the spirit, but again, you know, it's funny too, because like I said, when the elder brother did that video, he was like, man, I praise things. And then all of a sudden, and when he said it, I was just like, I won't be surprised if the Lord opened it back up when he said, I was like, because he just came out the blue, and I was like, the Lord might open this back up now. But at the same time, we'll never know. The elder was going into how they all over the place. One minute they say, "Oh, we not gonna fight against the food stamp, reinstate the food stamp." So that show you something right there. He said the administration's not gonna fight against them. Basically, the order of having to pay out the food stamps, and then next thing you know, he literally up there petitioning a lower court to appeal it. So the scriptures say, "Never trust thine enemy." You know what I'm saying? Let these people that trust in this place be destroyed. You know what I mean? You wanted to put your faith in man, where there's so many scriptures that talk about not trusting me. It's talking about every brother will utterly supplant. You know what I mean? Now, I'm talking about a brother. So how much more so your enemy? Never trust thy enemy. But for 2/3 of the nation and these heathens, yeah, let them trust completely in it. So the devil can give them what they deserve. If you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Civil Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and to the commandments of your power, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh. Shem Shai, you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyal Yahweh. Shem Shai, Shem. Honors to the elders, to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua to listen and learning. Lord willingly, this is edified. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly, Shalom, Shalom. Kwam Yasharala, Wawak Lava Ball.